This Friday, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology issued an urgent LAHAR advisory that changes everything for thousands of residents in Albay. Scientists are tracking conditions that could trigger scalding hot lahars powerful enough to bury entire communities in minutes. Mayon Volcano slopes are under siege. This is a convergence of volcanic activity and extreme weather that could prove deadly on a massive scale. PHIVOLCS warns that heavy to intense rainfall forecast along the eastern coast of southern Luzon could trigger volcanic sediment flows, or lahars, as well as muddy stream flows and runoff around Mayon Volcano, which remains under alert level 3. The threat is specific and immediate. Mayon has been actively producing pyroclastic density currents, depositing loose volcanic material all over the slopes. PHIVOLCS has identified erodible deposits occupying 3 major gullies, Mayisi, Bonga, and Basud. These materials will likely feed what scientists call generally in channel but hot lahars. Multiple municipalities face direct threats. Daraga municipality sits in the path of the Mayisi and Binon channels. Legazpi City communities including Mabanit, Bonga, Matnag, Bayuan, and Padang face dangers from multiple drainage routes. Santo Domingo must watch the Lidong and Basud rivers. The real terror lies in what PHIVOLCS specifically warns: hot lahars could cause scalding upon contact that could lead to serious and life-threatening injuries. These are syneruption lahars that incorporate loose material from new pyroclastic deposits of Mayon's ongoing eruption. The volcanic material is fresh, abundant, and waiting for heavy rainfall to transform it into devastating flows. Here's how the mechanism works. Rainfall saturates loose pyroclastic material, adding massive weight while lubricating the volcanic debris. When enough water infiltrates these deposits, entire slopes flow like concrete, carrying boulders, retaining heat from recent volcanic activity, and racing downhill at speeds that make escape nearly impossible. The southwestern slopes present additional threats. Older eruption deposits can be remobilized as non-eruption lahars in the Masareweg and Mananilla channels in Guinobatan municipality. PHIVOLCS warns these lahars threaten communities with inundation, impacting force when carrying boulders, burial, and washout even to sea off the eastern slopes. Picture flows powerful enough to transport car-sized boulders, bury ground floor structures completely, and wash debris kilometers to the ocean. Before we continue, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell to keep you updated. History provides brutal lessons. In November 2006, Typhoon Reming triggered massive lahars from Mayon that killed over 1,000 people. Entire barangays were buried under meters of volcanic debris. But the 2006 lahars occurred when Mayon wasn't actively erupting. Today's situation is more dangerous. Mayon is actively erupting now, while weather forecasts predict the exact rainfall conditions that trigger lahar formation. The 1991 Mount Pinatubo eruption provides another chilling precedent. Lahars continued for years, killing hundreds and burying entire towns. The town of Bacolor in Pampanga was buried so deeply that only the church steeple protruded above the deposits. Even Mayon's 1814 eruption, its most destructive in recorded history, killed over 1,200 people. Subsequent lahars extended the destruction for months, burying agricultural lands and forcing permanent abandonment of settlements. Right now, Mayon slopes exist in a state of critical loading. Provincial disaster risk reduction offices have activated emergency protocols. PHIVOLCS continues monitoring Mayon at alert level 3, tracking seismic activity, ground deformation, and gas emissions 24 hours a day. Weather forecasts show systems capable of delivering heavy to intense rainfall along southern Luzon's eastern coast, the exact conditions PHIVOLCS warns about. Weather patterns are actively developing that could trigger the scenario scientists have identified. Communities in danger zones face stark reality. Evacuation routes funnel through limited road networks. When lahars form, these same roads could be cut by debris flows, potentially trapping residents between advancing lahars and impassable escape routes. PHIVOLCS specifically warns that lahars can wash out even to sea off the eastern slopes, flows powerful enough to carry debris from the volcano's summit all the way to the ocean, traveling through every community in between. The mechanism PHIVOLCS describes syneruption, lahars incorporating new pyroclastic deposits, represents the most dangerous type of lahar formation. These flows retain heat from recent volcanic activity, explaining why the advisory specifically warns about scalding injuries. We're talking about deposits so fresh they can still burn on contact. PHIVOLCS warning about multiple simultaneous threats: inundation, impacting force, burial, and washout, reflects comprehensive lahar hazards. These aren't separate possibilities, they're concurrent dangers that strike together. The 2006 Typhoon Reming record shows Mayon's lahars killed over 1,000 people in a single event from rainfall alone, without active eruption. The current situation combines active eruption with forecasted intense rainfall, exceeding 2006 conditions. Climate patterns guarantee intense rainfall will eventually arrive. The question isn't if heavy rains will come, but when, and whether they'll arrive while Mayon's slopes remain loaded with fresh volcanic deposits. The communities identified Daraga, Legazpi, Santo Domingo, Guinobatan sit downstream of channels that carried devastating lahars before. The 2006 lahars followed these same drainage systems, proving the threat isn't theoretical but documented and verified by past casualties. PHIVOLCS doesn't issue Alert Level 3 warnings lightly. This means Mayon is in relatively high unrest with increased potential for hazardous eruption. Combined with the LAHAR advisory, residents face compounding volcanic hazards requiring constant vigilance. The official advisory states clearly, Mayon lahars can threaten communities downstream of all the above channels with inundation, impacting force when carrying boulders, burial, and washout even to sea off the eastern slopes. This is PHIVOLCS' assessment of what will happen when heavy rainfall mobilizes the identified deposits. Local government units must implement evacuation protocols when conditions warrant. Residents must monitor official advisories, prepare emergency supplies, know evacuation routes, and respond immediately to evacuation orders. When intense rainfall begins and lahars start forming, the window for safe evacuation measures in minutes, not hours. The question isn't whether Mayon's loaded slopes will generate lahars when heavy rainfall arrives. The physics are certain. The question is whether communities will be prepared and whether evacuation protocols will save lives when the convergence PHIVOLCS warns about finally occurs. Don't forget to subscribe and stay updated on the latest natural hazard alerts and extreme weather events. Hit that notification bell so you never miss critical safety information that could protect you and your loved ones. Keep safe, Albay.